Gas. I'm downtown Minneapolis where they got the Hennepin County jail, man, where I've been, unfortunately, for, a few times, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so basically, how I go in there, as soon as you come in and shit, it's kind of like underground and shit, pretty much. You go up under the jail and shit, and then they put you up against the wall, pat you down and shit, check your mouth and shit, all that little shit like that. And then from there, you go to strip search. And shit. Then from strip search, you get your little outfit. You gonna be in a brown shirt. I think they had the brown boxers and shit. And then you gonna have the orange jumpsuit and shit. Sometimes they get niggas the onesie and shit. That's the goofy shit. You be walking around that bitch like you got a diaper on type shit, right? But after that, then you sit down and shit. They gonna be playing these little videos and shit, pretty much how the county is and shit like that. And then you gonna be waiting to get your picture card for your picture and shit to get taken. And then after you get your picture taken, you gonna be sitting there and shit, and then they gonna give you your property, but like your money and shit, you gonna put it through the machine and shit. Back in the day, they used to just count your shit, you know what I'm saying, throw it back in the bag and shit or whatever, right? Put it on your books. So now, what they doing, they sticking it through this machine and shit to see if it's counterfeit. Then from there, they put you in this little slot. It's like a little long ass room, like with a concrete slab, and you sitting in that bitch by yourself or whatever and shit. And then sometimes it be a motherfucker in there, and then they call your name and shit like that, and that's part of the process and shit. Then you go see the nurse. Then you will go to another little holding booth where it's a bunch of niggas at. That's where you gonna see people like trying to see what they charge with, all that shit. Some niggas got their papers, then you waiting to see, you know what I'm saying, what they pretty much saying that you did. They gonna call you, call your name, they gonna call you in this room and shit, ask you a few questions and shit like that, and ask you, you know what I'm saying, like your name, your address and shit, just confirming some shit, how many tattoos you got, all that shit like that. Then they gonna tell you what you being charged with, your next court date and shit. Then you gonna go back in that cell and wait, because you trying to go to a long term or short term. So in the process of that, you getting fingerprinted, and then they gonna let you get the little 5-minute phone call. I go in that bitch, I try to rock out on them bitch, they free and shit. Try to call everybody, cause they let you be, let me bag up. When you in there with your property, they let you write a few numbers down and shit. So I'm trying to bang the phone, trying to let motherfuckers know where I'm at, what's finna go on, like I really don't know type shit. You really can't say too much, just really let the motherfucker know you in that jam. So then, from there, you gonna be waiting and shit. You ain't gonna go nowhere until you get your fingerprints. After you get your fingerprints and shit, you know what I'm saying, you gonna go to short term or long term and shit. So, short term and shit, they call it PC, but it's probable cause. It ain't protected custody. You gonna go, it's gonna be a bunch of niggas in an open dorm and shit, bunks and shit, TV on, you know what I'm saying, till probably like 9 o'clock or whatever and shit. So that's when you find out, like I said, when they tell you being charged with this shit, you know what I mean, in that when you go back where I was telling you at an intake, when you get the long term or short term, you gonna be in the PC hole, and then that kind of determined too. So it's like different stages to how they finna try to charge you. They trying to gather your information as you go along in the process. So while you in the PC hole, it's all kind of motherfuckers in there. People been in there for a few days waiting to see if they gonna be charged and shit like that. So the way you know you being charged, they give you these little charge papers and shit. They might stick them bitches up under the door. So like, if you still in Hennepin County, like after you done ate dinner, you in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You might as well hang it up to the next day or see what the fuck gonna happen. So usually the CO, they know motherfuckers be wanting to know what the fuck going on and shit, right? Especially if they done went to court that day. They gonna wanna know if they getting out. They wanna know something, or they might lawyer might have told them something, so they be expecting certain shit. So what the CO gonna do, because he know this shit on them court days every day, they gonna slide that paperwork up under the door and walk out. So now motherfucker looking at shit like, damn, if they got charged or not. But you gonna know if you got charged or not, because if they don't call your name before trial, your ass is done. You know what I'm saying? You in that bitch. You know what I mean? Now you fight for your life or whatever. But like after that, when you get charged, you go to long term. Now you in long term, you get you a little celly, shit like that. You know what I mean? You trying to get a visit slip so motherfuckers can come up here. You trying to re-rock that phone again. You know what I'm saying? So it used to be you had to get these little phone cards, but now they got a kiosk in that bitch. So you could just, if you got money on your books, you could just go on your account and just order phone time and shit. You can order that shit by the minute. You know what I'm saying? So it's like $1 a minute, so you could put a few dollars on there, so you ain't gotta kill all your phone time and shit. So that's pretty much how the county is. You know what I'm saying? You getting bullshit breakfast. You get these little cutie pies and shit. Sometimes you can get a boiled egg. I don't even know if they still do that type of shit. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, it's just now you just pretty much chattel and shit, you know? But yeah, man, it's cold in the motherfucker, so I ain't gonna talk y'all head off though. Hennepin County Part 2 coming soon.